I have been married to my wife Kelly for 8 years. I thought we had a solid relationship, a good partnership. She had a daughter from a previous marriage, Ava, and I had a son, Liam, who is 10. From the moment we said I do, I have done everything in my power to give all of us a good life. I am the one who pays for the house, the cars, the vacations, and basically everything else. And yet, somehow, Kelly has managed to repay me by treating my son like he is a guest in his own home. We live in a 3-bedroom house. Ava, who just turned 11, has her own room, a room I insisted on decorating for her. By the way, Liam has his own room too, and Kelly and I share the master bedroom. From the outside, it probably looks like a pretty functional setup, but inside these walls, there is a divide that grows wider and wider. Impossible to ignore. Ava as well. She is a mini version of her mother. She is bossy and spoiled, though not in an overtly malicious way. She does not bully Liam directly, but she always makes it clear that she is the princess of the house. Kelly is a different story. From the start, it is like she decided Liam was my son and not her responsibility. She barely speaks to him unless she has to. If he is upset or hurt, she is indifferent. It is not just that she does not make an effort to spend time with him. It is that she actively avoids him. All of her attention is on Ava, her parties, her needs, her whims. Liam is an afterthought. At first, I told myself it was just an adjustment period. Blending families is hard, right? I thought she needed time to bond with Liam. But 8 years later, how much time does someone need? If anything, it has gotten worse. It is like she has built a wall between herself and Liam, and she is determined to keep it up. And Liam, God bless him, is a good kid. He is kind and polite, always willing to help. He has already been through so much, losing his mom 2 years before Kelly and I got married. He has always held out hope that Kelly would be the mother figure he's been missing. But the way she treats him is like a knife to the heart. I see it in his eyes, the way he looks at her, hoping for a sliver of affection or acknowledgement, only to be met with indifference or, worse, annoyance. I was not stupid not to notice, but I was giving her a chance. When Kelly left Liam out of family activities, I told myself it could be just a coincidence. When she ignored his accomplishments while praising Ava for the smallest things, I chalked it up to her being busy or distracted. But now, looking back, I see it for what it was, a pattern, a clear and deliberate pattern of exclusion. I've tried talking to her about it over the years, but it always turns into a fight. She accuses me of being overprotective or overreacting, insists she treats both kids equally, even when it is blatantly false. I even tried family therapy, but she refused to participate, claiming I was the one with the problem, not her. The division in our house has become unbearable. Ava walks around like she owns the place, and Kelly caters to her every whim. Meanwhile, Liam tiptoes around, trying not to upset anyone, trying to find his place in a home that does not feel like his. There was one moment that stands out in my mind, a moment that made me realize how bad things had gotten. It was a Saturday morning, and I was working in the garage. Liam came out to show me a drawing he had been working on. He has a talent for art, something he is incredibly passionate about. He was so excited, beaming as he handed me the paper. "This is amazing, buddy," I said, genuinely impressed. "Let us go show Kelly." We walked inside and Liam proudly held up his drawing. "Look what I made, Kelly," he said, his eyes shining with hope. She barely glanced at it. "That is nice, Liam," she said, her tone flat. Then she turned to Ava, who was complaining that she wanted a snack. "What do you want, sweetie?" she cooed, completely ignoring Liam. The way his face fell, I will never forget it. It was like watching a balloon deflate. He walked away quietly, mumbling something about going back to his room. I just stood there, stunned, angry, and heartbroken all at once. I wanted to yell at Kelly, to shake her and make her see what she was doing, but I did not. I just stood there, frozen, as the realization hit me that this was not going to change. Now, every time I see Liam retreat to his room or look at Kelly with that mix of hope and disappointment, I feel a knot in my stomach. He deserves better. He deserves to feel loved and valued in his own home. And if Kelly is not willing to step up and be the mother he needs, then I will have to find another way to give him the life he deserves. This is our reality, a blended family that looks perfect only from the outside. I am sharing this because I need to get it off my chest. And maybe someone has been through something similar. Maybe someone has some advice or words of wisdom. Because right now, I feel like I am failing my son. And that is a pain I would not wish on anyone. What do you all think? Update. The breaking point came last weekend. It was Ava's 11th birthday, and Kelly went all out. She decorated the backyard with balloons and streamers, hired a clown, and bought a custom-made cake with Ava's favorite cartoon characters. The whole setup screamed overkill, but I went along with it. Ava was excited, and I thought it could be a good opportunity for everyone to bond, or at least pretend to. Liam was looking forward to the party too. He had saved up his allowance to buy Ava a small gift, something she had mentioned wanting weeks ago. He even made her a handmade card, spending hours drawing and coloring it. When he showed it to me before the party, he was practically glowing with pride. "Do you think she will like it?" he asked, his eyes wide with hope. "She will love it," I assured him. "It is thoughtful and personal. She will see how much effort you put into it." The party started off well enough. The kids played games, chased each other around the yard, and laughed like only kids can. Liam tried his best to join in, even though he is a bit quieter and more reserved by nature. When it was time for cake, everyone gathered around the table. The cake was a masterpiece, covered in colorful frosting and shaped like Ava's favorite character. The kids oohed and awed as Kelly lit the candles. I noticed Liam standing off to the side, holding his gift and card. I gave him a little nudge. "Stand next to Ava. Let's get a picture of you two together," I said. He smiled shyly and walked over, standing next to Ava with his gift in hand. Just as the camera was about to flash, Kelly's voice cut through the air. "Liam, move aside for a second," she said, waving her hand dismissively. "I want a picture with just Ava." Liam froze. He looked at me, confused and hurt. His smile faltered, and he hesitated for a moment before stepping aside, his head down. My heart sank. I could feel the anger bubbling inside me, but I tried to control it. After the picture was taken, I went over to Liam. "Hey, buddy, are you okay?" I asked quietly. He nodded, but I could see the tears welling up in his eyes. He quickly wiped them away and forced a smile. "Yeah, I am fine," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. That was the moment I snapped. I turned to Kelly, who was busy organizing the next activity. "What the hell was that?" I asked, my voice louder than I intended. She looked at me like I had three heads. "What are you talking about?" she asked, genuinely confused. "Why did you tell Liam to get out of the picture? He is part of this family too," I said, my voice shaking with anger. Kelly rolled her eyes. "I just wanted a picture of Ava. It is her birthday. After all, what is the big deal?" "The big deal is that you purposely made Liam feel excluded," I replied. "Do you have any idea how that made him feel?" "You are overreacting," she scoffed. "He will be fine." I turned to Liam, who was now standing off to the side, clutching his gift and card. "Does this look like fine to you?" I asked, raising my voice. The tension was palpable. The other parents at the party quickly averted their gazes, pretending not to notice the unfolding argument. Kelly stormed off, muttering something under her breath, and I was left with Liam, trying to console him. The party went on, but the damage was done. Liam's mood was ruined, and so was mine. Later that night, after the kids were in bed, I confronted Kelly again. "You are creating a divide in this family," I told her. Her response was as cold as ever. "I am already doing enough by letting him live here. Do not ask me to do more." I could not believe what I was hearing. Letting him live here, like he was some unwanted guest. My blood boiled, but I forced myself to stay calm. "This is his home. Kelly, I think you have forgotten that," I said firmly. "And if you cannot treat him like he belongs here, then maybe this is not going to work." She did not respond, but the look on her face said it all. The divide in our family had never felt so vast, and I knew something had to change. And soon, the fight did not end with Ava's party. If anything, it lit a fuse that had been smoldering for years. For the next few days, Kelly and I barely spoke. The tension in the house was suffocating. Even Ava, who usually reveled in being the center of attention, seemed uncomfortable. But Liam just kept his head down and stayed out of the way, like he was used to being collateral damage. It was a Thursday night when it all boiled over. I came home from work exhausted, but determined to address what had happened. Kelly was in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone, while Ava sat at the table doing homework. Liam was nowhere in sight, probably holed up in his room as usual. "We need to talk," I said, dropping my bag. Kelly did not even look up. "About what?" she asked, her tone clipped. "About Liam. About the way you treat him." That got her attention. She put down her phone and crossed her arms, leaning back against the counter. "What now? I thought we already had this conversation." "No, we did not," I said, my voice firm but steady. "We had a fight. There is a difference, and I am not letting this go." Ava looked up from her homework, sensing the brewing storm, but Kelly waved her off. "Go to your room, Ava," she said. Ava did not argue, grabbed her books and retreated upstairs. Once we were alone, I took a deep breath and began. "Liam is a good kid. He is kind, respectful, and he has done nothing but try to be a part of this family. But you have excluded him from day one, and I am done pretending it is okay." Kelly rolled her eyes. Oh, please. Do not make me out to be the villain here. I have done plenty for him. Like what? I snapped, ignoring him, treating him like a burden, letting Ava walk all over him. That's not being a stepmother. That's being a bully. Her face flushed with anger. How dare you call me a bully? I have done everything I can to make this work. But he is not my son. He is your responsibility, not mine. And Ava is not mine. I said, my voice rising. But I have treated her like she is. I have provided for her, supported her, loved her. Why can't you do the same for Liam? Because it is different. She snapped. Ava is my daughter. Liam is just your son. Her words hit me hard. Just your son. Like he was a stranger. An unwanted guest in his own home. I stared at her, my hands shaking with anger. Do you even hear yourself right now? I asked, my voice low and trembling. You are not just hurting him. You are hurting us, this family. And if you cannot see that, then maybe you do not belong here either. Her eyes widened, and for a moment, I thought she might actually apologize. But instead, she doubled down. You are unbelievable. I have put up with so much from you and Liam, and now you're threatening to kick me out? Fine. Maybe I should leave. Maybe you and your precious son would be better off without me. The words hung in the air like a toxic cloud. I did not respond. I turned around and walked away, heading upstairs to check on Liam. He was sitting on his bed, headphones on, sketching in his notebook. When he saw me, he took off his headphones and gave me a weak smile. Hey, Dad, everything okay? I sat down next to him, my chest tight with guilt and sadness. I am working on it, buddy, I said, ruffling his hair. I promise. The next morning, I decided I needed solid proof before making any serious decisions. I hated the idea of spying in my own home, but I could not shake the feeling that there was something more going on behind my back. The tension in the house, the way Liam seemed to be withdrawing into himself more and more each day, it all pointed to something deeper than what I had already seen. I needed to know the truth, not just for my own clarity, but for Liam's sake. The truth will also help me in the divorce process I am now seriously considering. So I ordered a couple of discreet cameras online, the kind small enough to blend into the background without drawing attention. They arrived 2 days later, and I spent the evening carefully installing them in common areas, the living room, the kitchen, and most importantly, Liam's room. I was careful to place them where they could capture interactions without unnecessarily invading anyone's privacy. For the next week, I reviewed the footage every night after everyone went to bed. At first, the recording showed nothing unusual. Liam mostly kept to himself in his room, reading or drawing. Kelly and Ava went about their routines, and there were no direct confrontations. For a moment, I started to doubt myself, wondering if I was being paranoid or overreacting. But something inside me told me that my doubts were warranted. Then, on the third day, I found it. The footage started innocently enough. Liam was in the living room, sitting quietly on the couch with a book in his hands. Ava entered the scene, her posture immediately radiating entitlement. She walked straight up to Liam and snatched the book out of his hands without a word. Liam looked up at her, startled, and reached out to take it back. This isn't your house, Ava hissed, her voice dripping with disdain. Stop acting like you belong here. She threw the book across the room and Liam froze, his face a mixture of confusion and hurt. He slowly got up and walked to retrieve the book. But before he could pick it up, Kelly walked into the room. She glanced at the scene, saw Liam reaching for the book, and said coldly, "Just leave it. Liam, you do not need to cause any trouble." Liam's shoulders slumped, and he turned around without a word. Kelly did not even look at Ava, who was smirking triumphantly. My hands clenched into fists as I watched the scene unfold. This was not a misunderstanding or a one-off slip-up. This was calculated exclusion, and it was coming from both of them. The next incident took place in the kitchen. Liam had bought some snacks with his own money and carefully stored them in a corner of the pantry. The footage showed Ava rummaging through the pantry, taking out Liam's snacks and opening a bag of chips. Moments later, Liam walked into the kitchen and saw her. He approached her hesitantly, his voice polite but firm. "Ava, those are my snacks. Could you please not eat them?" he asked. Ava's response was immediate and dismissive. "Mom says I can eat whatever I want. You can't tell me anything." Kelly entered the scene seconds later, holding her phone. She glanced at the scene, her expression indifferent. Ava looked at her and smiled, as if seeking support. Kelly chuckled and said, "Do not be so selfish. Liam, sharing is caring." Liam looked down, visibly trying to contain his frustration. He turned around and left the kitchen without a word. Ava continued eating, her arrogance almost unbearable to watch. My heart broke for Liam. His kindness, his willingness to be respectful, it was all brushed aside like it meant nothing. But the worst moment came the next day. Liam had a favorite hoodie, one that his late mother had given him. It was worn, but cherished, a tangible connection to her memory. The footage showed Ava using the hoodie to wipe up a spill on the floor. Liam walked into the living room and froze when he saw what she was doing. "Ava, stop," he pleaded, his voice cracking with emotion. "That's my hoodie. It is really important to me." Ava looked at him and laughed. "It is just a stupid hoodie. Get over it." Liam lunged forward to take the hoodie back, but before he could, Kelly appeared. She surveyed the scene, her lips curling into a slight smile. "Maybe if you did not leave your things lying around, this would not happen," she said, her tone cold and mocking. Liam clutched the hoodie to his chest, tears in his eyes. As he turned to leave, Kelly grabbed his arm roughly. "I told you to stop whining, did not I?" she snapped. "Go to your room before I give you something to cry about." Liam flinched, his small body recoiling from her grip. He nodded silently and retreated to his room, trembling as he clutched the ruined hoodie. Ava's giggles echoed in the background as Kelly turned away, unfazed. Watching that footage felt like a punch to the gut. I knew things were bad, but this was abuse. Plain and simple. The realization was almost too much to bear. That night, I sat in the dark, replaying the scenes in my head. The evidence was undeniable, but so was the pain. I made a decision. I am going ahead with the divorce. This is not a healthy family for my son, or for me, and I need to take action immediately. Don't you think? Update. Hi everyone. It has been a while since my last post, and I wanted to give you an update. Things have escalated, and honestly, I took a hard look at the situation with Kelly and Ava, and I realized I could not wait any longer to act. So, this is what happened. The day I confronted Kelly with the videos was one of the hardest and most liberating moments of my life. I waited until Liam was at school and Ava was out with a friend. Kelly was in the living room, scrolling through her phone like nothing was wrong. My heart was pounding, but I knew I had to stay calm and stick to the facts. "Kelly," I started, holding the folder where I had printed screenshots from the footage. "We need to talk. Now." She looked up, annoyed. "Can it wait? I am in the middle of something." "No," I said firmly, sitting down across from her. "It can't." I handed her the folder, and she reluctantly opened it. As she flipped through the screenshots, Ava snatching the book from Liam, taunting him about the snacks, and the incident with the hoodie, her expression barely changed. When she got to the part where she grabbed Liam's arm and yelled at him, she tossed the folder onto the coffee table. "And? What is your point?" she said, crossing her arms. I stared at her, stunned. "My point? This is abuse. You and Ava have been treating Liam like an outsider, like he does not even belong in his own home. This is not just favoritism. It is cruelty." She rolled her eyes. "Oh, do not be so dramatic. Kids fight all the time. Liam needs to toughen up. And if you are upset that I am disciplining him, maybe you should step up as a father." I could not believe what I was hearing. Disciplining him? Kelly, you were mocking him, encouraging Ava to humiliate him. You laughed when she used his dead mother's hoodie to clean up a spill. Do you even hear yourself right now? I did not even wait for her answer. That was it. That was the moment I knew there was no saving this. Any lingering hope I had that she might change, that she might care about this family evaporated. I stood up, my hands shaking with anger. "You are done here, Kelly," I said, my voice cold. "You and Ava need to pack your things and leave. Today." She laughed, like I had just told a joke. "Excuse me? Are you kicking us out of my house?" "My house." I corrected her. "I pay the mortgage, the bills, everything. And after what you've done to Liam, you do not deserve to live here." Her expression changed, her entitlement turning to fury. "You cannot just kick us out. Where are we supposed to go?" "That's not my problem," I said. "I will give you a week to figure it out, but you are not staying here any longer. I have already contacted a lawyer. I am filing for divorce." She stood up, screaming at me about how unfair I was being, how she had sacrificed so much for this family. I did not engage. I just kept repeating, "You have a week. Pack your things." Update. Hi everyone. I am back with another update. I have been meaning to write this for a while, but life has been chaotic since I started the divorce proceedings. Honestly, I thought kicking Kelly and Ava out of the house would be the hardest part, but I was wrong. The real fight started when the paperwork hit her hands. After Kelly moved out, I filed for divorce immediately. My lawyer helped me outline everything, the finances, the custody of the house, and, of course, ensuring Liam's safety was the top priority. I expected Kelly to take the hint and move on quietly. We both knew the relationship was irreparably broken, but instead, she came back swinging, and not in a good way. The first sign of trouble came when I was served with her response to the divorce petition. Kelly was demanding half of everything: the house, the savings, the cars, even a portion of my retirement fund. She also claimed she was entitled to spousal support because she had sacrificed so much to be in this marriage. I almost laughed when I read it. Sacrificed? All I could think about was the evidence I had of her mistreatment of Liam. If anyone had been sacrificing anything, it was my son. But Kelly was not done. She hired a lawyer who clearly knew how to play dirty. They started making accusations, claiming that I was an absentee father and that Kelly had been the primary caregiver for both children. It was absurd. She had never cared for Liam, and Ava had been her priority from day one. But in divorce court, accusations like that can stick if you do not have solid proof to refute them. That is when I remembered the videos. My lawyer was thrilled when I told him about the footage. He said it could be a game changer, but we had to introduce it carefully. The recording showed not just Kelly's indifference, but her outright cruelty towards Liam. They captured her bullying and Kelly's enabling behavior, as well as the heartbreaking moment when Kelly grabbed Liam by the arm and threatened him. When Kelly's lawyer saw we intended to use the footage, he tried to argue that the recordings were an invasion of privacy. But my lawyer quickly shut that down, citing that the cameras were placed in common areas, not private spaces, and that they were installed for Liam's safety. The judge admitted the evidence, and suddenly, Kelly's narrative started to crumble. The courtroom was tense as the videos played. I will never forget the look on Kelly's face as the footage rolled. She shifted uncomfortably in her seat, her usual arrogance replaced by unease. Her lawyer tried to downplay it, arguing it was out of context and that Kelly was just disciplining Liam. But there was no way to disguise the way she laughed when Ava humiliated him or the coldness with which she dismissed his pleas. The judge did not buy it. In fact, they seemed disgusted by what they saw. I could feel the tide turning in my favor. Kelly did not take it well. After that hearing, she doubled down on her efforts to make my life as difficult as possible. She started spreading rumors, telling anyone who would listen that I was the abusive one, that I had brainwashed Liam against her. Some of her family members even reached out to me, accusing me of being heartless for breaking up the family. It was infuriating, but I kept my head down and focused on the legal process. The financial battle was the next hurdle. Kelly was still pushing for half of everything, despite the fact that she had never financially contributed to the household. Her lawyer argued that she deserved spousal support because she had been dependent on me during our marriage. My lawyer countered with the videos, showing that Kelly's behavior had contributed to the breakdown of the marriage and that she had failed to fulfill even the basic duties of a partner and stepmother. The judge sided with me on most counts. Kelly did not get the house or the bulk of our savings. She walked away with a smaller settlement than she had demanded and no spousal support. The court acknowledged that her behavior towards Liam was not only harmful but a significant factor in the divorce. For the first time in years, I felt like someone was actually on my side. But the best part is that Liam is safe now. The court granted me full custody of him, meaning Kelly has no legal claim over him or the house. That was my biggest fear, that she would somehow try to use Liam as leverage, even though she had never cared for him. Now, she cannot hurt him anymore. Thanks to everyone who encouraged me to take that first step. Your advice and support gave me the courage to do what needed to be done. If you are reading this and feel trapped in a toxic situation, please know that there is a way out. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Liam and I are proof of that. Update. Hi everyone. I am back with an update. Hopefully the last one, and you and I can stop hearing from Kelly for good. A few weeks after the divorce was finalized, I started hearing rumors through mutual acquaintances and even some nosy neighbors. Apparently, Kelly was not doing so well living with her sister. At first, I did not pay much attention. I was focused on moving forward with my life and helping Liam adjust to our new normal. But then, Kelly started reaching out. It began with a few text messages at first. They seemed innocent enough. Basic questions about Ava's homework or her belongings that were still at the house. I responded politely, keeping things brief and professional. But it did not take long for the tone of her messages to change. The texts started coming more frequently, and they were not just about Ava anymore. Kelly started reminiscing about our marriage, saying things like, "I did not realize how good I had it," and "I missed the life we had together." I ignored most of these messages, but then came the emails. In one particularly long email, Kelly poured her heart out. Well, at least that is what she wanted me to believe. She wrote about how hard things had been since the divorce, how impossible it was living with her sister, and how Ava was struggling in school because of all the changes. She even tried to pull at my heartstrings, claiming that Ava missed Liam and me and wanted to see us again. It was a blatant attempt at guilt-tripping, but I was not buying it. From what I had heard, Kelly's sister was not thrilled about having 2 new house guests. Kelly had always been high maintenance, and now that she did not have me as a financial safety net, The cracks in her life were starting to show. She had never had to budget or worry about bills before, and apparently the reality of living without a provider was hitting her hard. Ava, meanwhile, was not adjusting well to the lack of luxury she had become accustomed to. The constant tension in their new living arrangement was clearly taking a toll, but that was not my problem anymore. One night, Kelly called me. I stared at the screen for a moment before declining the call. Seconds later, she sent a text message, "Can we talk, please? Just for a few minutes." Against my better judgment, I decided to respond. "What do you want, Kelly?" Her reply came almost immediately. "I just want to apologize. I have been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize now how much I took for granted. I made mistakes, and I want to fix things." I stared at the message, my jaw clenching. This was not about fixing things. This was about her realizing she could not handle the life she had created for herself. I decided to call her bluff. "What exactly do you want to fix?" I replied. "The way you treated Liam? The way you let Ava bully him? Or is it just about the fact that you do not have someone footing the bill for you anymore?" Her response was defensive. "That's not fair. I know I was not perfect, but I tried my best. I missed the life we had. Don't you?" I did not even bother replying. Instead, I blocked her number. It was clear she had not really changed. She was just desperate. Desperate for the comfort and stability she had lost, and probably desperate for someone to pick up her slack again. But I was not going to be that person anymore. For the next few days, Kelly tried other ways to contact me. She emailed me from a different address, showed up at Liam's school claiming she wanted to check on him, and even sent a message through one of her friends. Each time, I shut it down. I made it clear that we were done, that she had made her choices, and she would have to live with them. Now, a few months later, Kelly's attempts at reconciliation have slowed down, though I would not be surprised if she tried again. From what I have heard, she is still struggling, bouncing between jobs and relying heavily on her sister. Ava is reportedly acting out, which does not surprise me considering how she was raised. As much as I feel for them, I know it's not my place to fix their lives. My priority is Liam, and making sure he grows up in a loving, stable environment. For anyone reading this who might be in a similar situation, let me tell you this. People like Kelly rarely change. They might realize what they've lost, but that does not mean they are ready to take responsibility or truly make amends.